Hello there, this is Teacher Wayne, and I'm continuing my Unity series on basically making a zombie shoot 'em up game. I'm continuing with what I've done in previous videos. In this video I'm looking at an introduction to weapon systems. I'm not going very far with it because it's quite a complicated process, but I am introducing a weapon system. For this particular one, it's just two guns I'm going to be looking at. So let's just first of all show you the two weapons I'm looking at here. So I've got first of all, where did I get them from? I went on the asset store and I found a low poly weapons pack. Now, unfortunately, that asset in the asset store will be updated to the latest version of Unity. Won't work with this version, but I'll export this and make this available for everyone. Now, this weapon system does come with its own sort of codes and its own sort of setup. But I think from the purposes of what I've been doing in my videos, I'm not going to be using that. All I'm using this is to actually for the actual guns themselves. And from this particular video, I'm using the AK-47. As you can see, I just dragged and dropped it there and put it into the scene as AK-47. And I also added the handgun. In mine, I've actually called it pistol, but it is the actual handgun. There it is. Now, in addition to adding them to the scene, I've done two other things. These are pickups, they're assets, a bit like the ammo crates there. So with the as with the ammo crate, one thing I've added that wasn't as part of the original thing is I've added a box collider. So I just go and add component and added box collider. I didn't need to do much more because it just by default, can you see it's in the boxes right? And I did the same for the pistol. It's called handgun in the assets, but I call it pistol. And I added a box collider to it as well. And in addition to that, I've also created a script for both of them called Get a Gun, I've called it. It's a universal script that you can apply. Well, I'm going to use from all the weapons because I'm probably going to have different weapons as well. At this stage in the weapon systems, there is no difference between these in firepower. The pistol and the AK-47, they're using the same ammo, they're using the same bullets, the same clips. I've not gone that far. I will be in a later video, but I'm not in this video, just to try to keep it simple, really. So I'm going to talk about the Get a Gun script in a bit, but basically, as you can see for the AK-47, the bit that I've added is a box glider. I made sure the trigger is ticked. It's got the Get a Gun, the same with the handgun pistol object there. I've got a Get a Gun and I've also got the box glider, and I've made sure that the is triggered is ticked. By the way, when the player moves over these objects do vanish, and the player ends up with it in their hand, whether it's the AK-47 or the pistol. Now, the other bit, this is before I get around to the coding, is in the player, I've also added, as you can see, under the camera, I've added the AK-47 and the handgun. Now, I've disabled them in the inspector. I've actually what's known as set them not active. In fact, if you have ticked there, and what I've done is I've put it, if I click at game here, can you see it's in, I've got it, I'm trying to line it up in there. If I go to the scene, I can, what I did is I maneuvered it around. I'm just going to maneuver it around a bit so you can see. I've maneuvered it around so it's, I need to move it back now, it's made it worse there. Let's have a look at that. And that's reasonable. It's roughly pointing towards the dot. That's where I want it to do. So I'm going to untick that so it hides it again and click to the handgun and tick that. And I've got the handgun, it's pointing sort of like there, so I just need to move that a bit or rotate it. I might just move it a little bit to there. There you go. It's now obviously it's not brilliant this. Ideally, one thing I'm considering doing and I've been playing about with is put like a human hand holding it, to have some sort of animation. By the way, these weapons do actually have built-in animation. I've actually, can you see, it's got, these are animation clips. I just dragged them, dropped them up here to there. But I made sure that the play automatically wasn't working, because we're going to maybe want to use the animation of the bullets coming out later. We've got all sorts of things. There's a muzzle flash and all sorts of things we're going to add later, but not for this video. So that is the non-script part. So just to recap, I've added a handgun. I've tagged it as pistol, by the way, and the AK-47 I've tagged as AK-47. We're going to use these tags a lot, but I've set them as non-active, and those are not ticked in the inspector. And the player, I've added the player script so it actually uses the two guns. I'll show you that later. So now what I want to do is focus on, well, I'll just press play and show you what happens. So at the moment when you press play, give it a minute. Yeah, the game starts as normal. I can't shoot. Nothing happens. I don't have any weapons. When I go over and pick these up, they will actually appear in my hand, but I'm not going to show you that yet. But I can't fire. I can maneuver around as normal, but I'm not able to do anything. And that's what you want. You want it, they've got no weapons, and then you're going to have to select a gun or an AK-47. Right. So let me show you the scripts. First of all, the simple script, which is the get a gun script. So let's show you get a gun. Let me explain it to you. So this here, let me just click on the actual gun, right, and then you will be better understand. So I've actually tagged the pistol here. As I said, I've got two weapons at the moment within this game, a pistol and an AK-47. So in this script here, we've got two things. First of all, it's going to access the player controller, because what we're going to do in the player controller, we need to let the player, as the players collides with this gun or the AK-47, we need the player to be aware of what they bumped into, well, the script to be aware of, and then it can select the correct weapon. And we do that by this here. We have what's known as, first of all, in the start function, that's the built-in one. First of all, it just finds the player and links with a player controller script. The second thing is it finds out, it sets this variable called who am I to the tag of it. So it will set it to pistol in this instance, and the AK-47, which uses exactly the same script, it'll call it AK-47. Now what happens is, when we have an on-collision, and I've talked about these on-collisions before, they're triggered when that is triggered, there is ticked. Without that ticked, this does not run this function. So you have to make sure you always tick that, and you can edit the collider with it, but for this instance I've not bothered. So then what it does is it runs the player controller, and it's running a function called get set gun, and it's passing the who am I, which basically is the tag. So it's going to pass the fact it's the pistol in this instance, or it'll pass AK-47 in the other one, and then it destroys itself. And that's all the script does. So I'll just leave that on the screen for a minute just for you to look at and try to understand. It's quite a simple little screen, get a gun. Now let's go to player controller. That's where it gets more difficult. I'm just going to scroll right to the top of there. First of all, as I've said, we need to link AK-47 or the pistol. I'm just going to move this to one side. So if I click on the player, here we are. What I did was, when you got this cut, that's the two serialized fields. All they do is they create these two slots here, the handgun and that. All you do is you just literally go handgun to handgun, AK-47 to AK-47. And if you want to add more weapons, you'd literally just add more serialized fields here, and they would appear there, and you just literally drag and drop them. So that's that. The second thing we got here is, I'm scrolling down to the next bit, is I've added these lines here. So first of all is has a gun. Now this is something that I had in a previous script that you've probably already got, this line. Line 42, you probably got it elsewhere, but it just basically says we have no gun, and it's set to false. So in other words, the player can't shoot, and as soon as we pick up any weapon, this will get set to true. And then we have 4 other variables, 2 for the pistol and 2 for the AK-47. Now I may change this, I may change this in future, but for now I want to just keep it as it is. First of all, have we picked a pistol up? Is false, and are we showing it on the screen is false, and same for the AK-47. Do we have it? False. And can we show it? False. So everything is set as false. We have no pistol, we have no AK-47, they're not live, and we have no gun at all. So that's that bit there. Let me scroll on to the next bit where the code changes. Here's the next bit I've changed. Here's this bit here I'm showing you. So we are not allowed to shoot unless has gun is set true. Now has gun is set to false. So in other words, we're not going to shoot at all until we've picked a gun up. That's the entire point. And I've changed it. Can you see I've commented out the line before just to show that's what it used to look like, and I've changed it to this. So I've moved away from having the mouse button, because what I found is when I'm playing the game, I found it very hard to fire with that mouse button. So I've changed it to the E key. So if you're using the WASD keys, it's quite easy to press the E button with your finger and shoot, and so you've got a lot more control when you're firing. It makes the game more playable, and it runs the shoot. The shoot is no different. This is exactly the same. This will change once we sort out the ammo and stuff, and we get a muzzle flash. Things will start to appear in there. So where's it change for the player controller script from previous one is this function here. Let me go through this, just explain what we've got here. So has a gun. First of all, we picked a gun. We're going to set the fact we have picked a gun up, and then I've just got this little line in here just to display the fact what we've picked up, either AK-47 or pistol, because sometimes we may have problems with it. So I've left in that for legacy. We can comment that out. I'll comment it out for now because mine does work like that. So I've got 2 if statements. One if we've got the AK-47 and one we've got the pistol. Now they're very, very similar, except the trues and falses are different. Let me explain. First of all, AK-47, we say we've got AK-47 and we're showing it. In other words, it's on the screen. And same for pistol. If we've got the pistol, we're setting it to true and we're setting it to true. Right? But I've just realised a little mistake. What I need to do is I need to have here is show, I want to add a little bit, pistol equal to false. Oops. Because we want that to be set to false. Because you can only show one gun at a time. If you show 2, it causes problems. Same for this one. We're going to have show AK-47 equals false. I've just added that to my own script now, just to update it a little bit. Now these 2 lines here, set active. Let me show you. If I click on here and click on there, right, set active, what that does, if it's set to true, it's equivalent to doing that. Can you see what happens? It shows it actually starts to appear. When it's not active, it's like that. When you set it active, it does that. That's as simple as that. That's all it is. I'm just going to make sure it's off at the moment. So it just for the pistol, we're showing the pistol, but not the AK-47. If we bump into the AK-47, we set that true, and the pistol is false. It's as simple as that. So let me just show you the gameplay. So I'm playing the game now. Right, I've got no weapon, I cannot shoot. Now, just a word of warning here. For some reason, I've corrupted my hit marker script. So let me open up to the pistol. Now, as I click over it, can you see what's happened? The pistol's vanished. I've now got it in my hand. Press E, and I can shoot. I get this funny little glitch, but I'll fix that later. Now, I walk over to the AK-47. There, I've got the AK-47 now. Now, like I said, I have no difference. I want to pick up these 2 clips. I want to go out and shoot some zombies. So now I've got the basics of a weapon system working. It's exactly the same as it was last time. Except I've got a horrible glitch that I can't fix at the moment. But it does work. So anyway, that is the introduction to the basics of the weapon system. And I hope you enjoyed that. This is... just and play that. This is Teacher Wayne. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my videos, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you with the next video when I go into a little bit more detail for the weapons systems, and thank you.